Hello there and welcome to the Fight Show on Sports tonight. A lot to get through this hour. Later on, we're looking at part 4 of Juan Manuel Marquez against Manny Pacquiao. We'll also look at Darren Barker's fight against Kerry Hope. But before that, we're talking Essex Earthquake, December 8th date in Brentwood. And we've got one of the fighters on the set with us, Joe Mullen, the middleweight, who's looking forward to the date, alongside, of course, our regular guest, my regular sparring partner, Spencer Oliver, in the studio. And Spence, you get that tingling feeling ahead of a date like this because a lot of positive records of kind of novice burgeoning careers. Yeah. A lot on the line, isn't there?
Listen, it's good exposure for all these kids that are coming through with, just beginning their careers, getting this TV exposure, and they're also hungry. And yeah, they're all great fights. Steve Goodwin putting in some good bills, and another one I'm really looking forward to.
Talking to you, Joe, and your old man out there before you came on, he was saying Samet Husanov from Bulgaria. He's never fought outside Bulgaria, and what do you know about him? But I suppose the answer is you can't know too much.
I know nothing about him at all, really. All I can focus on is my training, with my trainer and my team, and just take it steady. As I was speaking to Spence about it before, in the first round, have a look at him quickly. I mean,
but how difficult is that for you? Because you were telling us you're a pressure fighter, so but you don't want to rush in there like a bull in a china shop, do you?
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but that's something I've got to learn straight away. So, I mean, I can move my head and have a look at him, hopefully not take too much, see what he brings to the table. Yeah. But and then obviously jump on him. But I'm taking it as he can punch and he can fight. I never look down on someone or look at them as a journeyman or anything like that. So I think that's a dangerous game.
It's always a danger when you're fighting an unknown quantity. An opponent that's not on YouTube. You can't get any footage of him, and he's coming with a 2-0 record.
You were coaching Joe, weren't you? You were saying, look, mate, don't get too carried away.
Absolutely, it's always a danger.
First round,
It's always a danger. So you've got to be very careful. Although Joe loves to, fight with his heart on his sleeve, pressure, go in there for excitement, pleasing the crowd. Sometimes you've got to just sit back a little bit, take a look at your opponent, and see what's in front of you. And you only get that experience, really. That all gains from experience. And at the moment where Joe's so, young, hungry, and look eager and keen to impress, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's sort of got sometimes you've got to hold
back.
And
on home soil as well in Brentwood.
Absolutely.
From there, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, well, let's get a little taster of what is to come then at the Earthquake Essex event, December 8th in Brentwood. Here you go. Wonderful stuff. Big night of boxing as well, December the 8th. We'll talk more about the other events happening that night. And Joe, for you as well, you're talking about a little bit of pressure of a fight in your hometown, ticket sales, stuff like that, people calling you up. That's been a slight distraction, you were saying?
Yeah, it's something you just have to deal with as a fighter. I mean, at the level I'm at the minute, I hope to go a lot further. Yeah. But you have to sell your own tickets and things like that. I've got good people with me. I mean, my best mates help me out with the tickets and my family, so I don't really...
Turn that phone off December 7th, because you're telling stories of nightmares, boxers getting, knocked up at their house at 6 AM and stuff like that the day of the fight.
Most people who know me, they know not to ring me on the day of a fight anyway, but it's something you just have to deal with ticket-wise. And
I think it's difficult. It's difficult for these young pros coming through because, it's difficult. You need to fight regularly. There's not a lot of money in these early fights.
How ready do they have to be
down day jobs?
Remind people of where you went from in a short space of time for getting a southern area shot, and then you're fighting for a European title.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of very fortunate. Listen, in boxing you need a little bit of luck. Sometimes one door opens, one door shuts, another door opens, and you get lucky. Like I boxed for a southern area title fight in my 10th fight, and I found myself winning the European title in my 11th fight and getting elevated to number 4 in the world. But that opportunity just arose, do you know what I mean? It was like,
so you have to be ready.
I wasn't really even in contention to box for a British title because I'd only just won the Southern area, but this opportunity come up, and I took it with both hands, and that's the way it goes. And you know, that's how Joe can find his career going. It can go like that, and sometimes you don't get the opportunity, and sometimes you're boxing, and no one gives you that chance. So you know, boxing can be a funny game. It can be very kind, and it can be very cruel.
It's inspiration, though, Joe, isn't it? I suppose that you've always got to be ready, always on your guard, because you never know what could lead to the big fight.
You've got to keep yourself fit when you're not fighting. That's one of the biggest things, I think, as young pros now. You can't not stay fit.
Yeah.
You have to be fit all the time.
Because you may get that phone call that just says to you, do you know what I mean? At Joe's stage of his career, he may get that phone call that says, you know what?
Jump in at short notice.
He goes and wins this December the 8th fight, and he gets a phone call saying, listen, an opportunity's arose for you in your next fight. You can get the Southern Area title. All of a sudden, you know, he might find himself elevated into title contention and topping bills. So you've always got to keep yourself in good nick, you know, all the time.
I tell you what, who's counting on you to be fit is Steve Goodwin as well. Of course, Goodwin Promotions putting together tonight the Earthquake in Essex, and Steve joins us over the line. Steve, good evening to you, sir. Are you well? How excited are you about this upcoming event?
Oh, it's fantastic. No, we're really looking forward to it. I've had better weather than you today. We're in Gibraltar, so I've had a bit of sun.
Don't rub it in, mate. Come on. Be easy.
No, I mean, the bill's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's littered with proper 50-50 fights, which is what we're all about. And, you know, you're talking about 8 fights with boxers with all undefeated, with all positive records. It doesn't happen often. And Joe's in one of those, and there's plenty of others on the bill as well.
Yeah, he's working in the Essex town in Gibraltar, isn't he? So
yeah,
come back
absolutely.
With that. And,
Steve, I remember you having, last time out, you had a similar sort of bill with fighters equal, like 50-50 fights as well, didn't you? On that London calling, you had every guy on there had winning records, didn't they?
Exactly, and that's okay. Not every home fighter won, but you know the point is that even the ones that lost will learn from it and they'll come back from it stronger. But I believe it's really important when they step up to 6 rounds, they've got to be prepared to fight people who are coming to fight them. No point building up 10 fight undefeated records and then throwing them in the deep end and getting found out. It's all about building up gradually and making sure that when they do get the big chance, as you were just saying, that they're ready for it and capable of doing it, and they've had the experiences to make sure they win it when they get the big chance.
Well, Steve, the main event is one of Joe's mates, Chris Agudua, against Nathan Graham in a rematch. How much are you looking forward to that? Because it was a tight one last time.
I think
draw.
It was a tight one. I thought Nathan edged it, but what we've got to remember is Nathan's, you know, pretty much a seasoned fighter. Chris, that was I think was his 6th fight. So you know, my belief is that Chris has got more improvement to come. And I think Chris will win the rematch.
Yeah, Nathan Graham, 19 fights in comparison,
And also, when we were talking about those opportunities there, Chris, that was the opportunity that arose for Chris. He got elevated into a Southern Area title fight in only his 6th or 7th fight. So, I mean, that tells you about these kids, and they get that opportunity, and then all of a sudden they find themselves in those title fights, don't they?
And that's what we're about. We're about giving people the opportunity and giving these boxers otherwise would just be fed, giving them the opportunity of fighting for it. I mean, the support, the Lewis and Darts fight for me is the best heavyweight fight of the next 8 days. You can talk about David Price Skelton, you can talk about Tyson Fury, Kevin Johnson, but listen, we know who's going to win them. We know Price and Fury are going to win them. We know it, and you can read this Monday, they're going to win. You don't know who's going to win this heavyweight fight, and that's why that fight, to be honest, is the most competitive heavyweight fight coming up in the next 8 days.
Yeah, there's a real grudge match going on as well, isn't there? And I mean, I know there's a big Twitter war between the two of them, and Ian Lewison's in my gym training. He's training real hard. He's training for this fight like it's a world title fight, Steve.
Well, but to be honest, for him, it is a world title fight. If he loses, he may as well go and get another job. It's as simple as that. He's 31. This for him this is the path that we're creating for him, and he's in the next 12 months he's got to break through. If he loses, he goes and gets another job. It's as simple as that. Dorian Darcy's undefeated in 6. He can come back from this. Ian can't. So, you know, I spelled it out to him. He's got to come out and be his very best in this fight with no excuses.
Were you expecting Chris Agudua to be on form here, this one?
Yeah, I think it will be, and I hope he wins. Like I say, I'm good mates with Chris, Lee Markham as well. So I was in the amateurs with Lee, and I've known Chris for a while, so I really hope he goes to win it, and especially in Brentwood.
Yeah, hometown. Well, let's look at the card, Steve, as well, because I think you've identified sort of two parts of it and what we should look forward to, haven't we, here? We can have a look at what's coming up. We've got the main event, the light middleweight Agudua, Nathan Graham, then Ian Lewis and Dorian Darch, we've mentioned that, and then Joe's just mentioned Lee Markham against Diego Burton. Diego, misleading, I think he is an Englishman, of course. Tell us about those, sell us to those fights, particularly the Ian Lewis one. Tell us about him and his story, because he was a highly heralded amateur, wasn't he, with a big future?
Yeah, I mean, well, from my... Are you talking to me on this? Or
yeah, sorry, yeah, Steve, we're bringing you in. Yeah, you tell us about...
Okay, yeah, fine. I mean, no, the basic story with Ian was... Ian was out of contract. He asked me to look after him. We thought long and hard about doing it. He came and he had one fight for us, which was in July. And to be honest, he was frankly awful. Doesn't matter that people were patting him on the back, he was dreadful. And I had a meeting with him 3 days, and Ian will tell you, I went round his house, had a meeting with him 3 days after the fight, and I just said to him, you've got to be the biggest wasted talent in boxing. Yeah. You've got to get a structure. And I said, you need to go to Don Charles. It's as simple as that. And I said, other than that, you're really going nowhere. So I set them up. It's made a good partnership. And really, for him now, this is it. But I've never seen Ian be more committed or focused than he is now. So I think we'll see the best Ian Lewis come on December the 8th. Yeah,
he's 31. He doesn't look 31. He looks still young and fresh. But how talented is he? Because you've obviously work in the gym with Don Charles up there at my gym, Finchley.
I see him every day, and I saw what he was like when he come in the gym. He would turn up and he would always be half an hour late, an hour late. Yeah. The commitment, the dedication just wasn't there. But Don sort of turned him around. You know, he's realised now that, you know, this is for
good
real.
Good preparation work with Derek Chisora in terms of characters.
Absolutely. But he's had some great sparring with him, and he's sparring all over the place. He's been sparring with Danny Williams. He's travelling around, picking up a lot of experience. He is 31 years of age. They do need to move on with him, but this kid has got an immense amount of talent. You know, you look down his amateur record, he's boxed David Price, he beat Orlando Solis. Yeah. You know, there's loads of talent there, but the dedication hasn't been. Now I think they've implicated that into him. I think that, you know, I think the world's his oyster, and I think that, you know, he could be a big name on the heavyweight circuit.
Stylistically, he's linked or likened Don Charles to David Hay, and he said he wasn't saying that kind of over-exaggerated
because he's very mobile. He's quite light on his feet. Now, when you saw him, he was light on his feet when he was 2 stone heavy, and now he's trimmed up. Yeah, he looks great. You know, he's very slick. He likes to move around. He picks his shots. Very experienced. A good heavyweight. I like the heavyweights that like to move around a little bit.
Not a bad comparison, is it? As well, David Hay. Let's look at this Twitter war, though, Steve, as well, amping it up now on social network against the Welsh heavyweight Dorian Darch, and this is what I think Dorian's had to say, and I've seen some comments from Dorian as well. He's delusional. He certainly talks good fight, because from what I've seen, he cannot fight one. He looks more like Professor Clump than a heavyweight boxer, or a heavyweight nutty professor. What Dorian's, of course, they're talking about there. But
Dorian's
they've got
a
past opponent, haven't they? Similar to Krzyminski, I think, and Dorian knocked him out of there in a round.
What Dorian's talking about there is the kid Lewison who he's seen. You know, 4 or 5 months ago, he hasn't seen the new slim trimmed up.
Lewison's kidding him along. He keeps saying, "I'm not training. I'm in McDonald's. I'm doing this. I'm not bothering training or anything like this."
Of course he is. I mean, that one there has got the potential to be, you know, one of the best fights of the night. But I think there's so much anticipation on how the fight's going to go. Dorian Darch is no slouch. He's coming to win. You know, he's coming up from Wales and he's coming to win. And Lewison looking to put his name, you know, in the heavyweight scene, because people just see him as have written him off, really.
Well, Lewison's obviously from South London. He's not got far to go to Brentwood. Steve, do you think Dorian Darch, question marks over whether he can travel outside of Wales? He's undefeated, but he's never been outside of the country, has he?
But he's got a massive support base. I mean, I think there's over 120 people coming from Wales to support him. So they're not coming what they really believe they're going to win. Yeah. And whether they're right or not will be proved on December the 8th. But what I'm saying is, we have a fight that nobody can call. And you've got 2 potential heavyweights. I mean, if Darch beats Ian Lewis, and Darch is heading into the top 10 rankings in Britain. So he's not going to be far away from a shot. It's going to be, and it's genuinely no love lost between the two of them. And I think it's a really, really cracking fight. Fight of the night, without a doubt, no doubt.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Steve, appreciate speaking to you. I'm sure we'll speak to you again soon, sir. Enjoy Gibraltar. Brilliant. Good work on the tan. We look forward to seeing the fights unfold.
Fantastic.
Speak soon, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Lovely stuff. And Lee Markham there as well, you know well on that card. We didn't talk too much about his fight.
Yeah, I think, personally, I think Lee will be too strong for him. I mean, I used to spar, me and Lee used to spar. We were in the same gym as amateurs. Yeah. And we're good mates outside and that. So, yeah, I think it'll be too strong for him.
Interesting stuff. Spence, the full card.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's a lot going on, isn't there? I mean, a lot
Chris
to get through.
And Nathan Graham, obviously, the draw last time out. Yep. So, I mean, looking forward to that one. Adjador would have picked up a lot of experience from that last one, because he was sort of relatively a raw novice, really.
So learn more than Nathan Graham would have from that fight.
Absolutely, I think so. You know,
his card,
yeah, but I think that it's going to be a great rematch and one that we're all looking forward to seeing. Joe, I'm looking forward to see as well, seeing how he's going to perform and seeing how he's going to progress.
Got Leon Senior coming on a little bit later in the show, and
yeah,
been promised a potential Southern area.
Listen, Mika Moo's done a great job.
Heavyweight.
Great job with Leon Senior. You know, they've been in the gym for a year. They've got his weight down. He's dropped some 4 stone in weight. I'm not talking about Ricky Hatton here. I'm talking about Leon Senior. Yeah, he's dropped some 4 stone in weight.
He's actually a bigger boy than Leon.
He's looking for a light heavyweight title shot come March. I think the Southern Area title shot. So there's a lot on the line there, and he needs to look good in that contest. So that's another one to look forward to. Dean Byrne we saw last time out, who looked great as well. I mean, every fight there really, there's an interest in every single fight there. Michael Lomax coming off a loss to Ricky Hatton's brother. So that's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from that.
That was a quick loss as well.
Yeah, it was a first round knockout body shot. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff on there, and some decent opponents for all of them.
Anything you're looking forward to particularly, Joe? Apart from your fight, I'm sure that's your focus, but...
I'm just looking forward to having a fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do, and just can't wait to get in there, really.
Training's on course, you're on track?
Yeah.
Weight's on track?
Yeah, weight's on track. Been sparring well, been sparring good luck, stable mates, Tony Conquest, and lots of John Dignam, people like that. Bradley Skeet sparred the other night, so yeah, it's all going well. Can't wait to get in there.
Wish you the best luck against Husanov, and may not be as good as his record suggests. The battle of the undefeated, that one should be great. Good luck, Joe. We'll catch up with you again soon. So coming back after the break, we are joined by Leon Senior and his trainers. We continue the countdown to the earthquake in Essex. See you in a few moments' time. Welcome back to the Fight Show on Sports tonight. Building up then to this big December 8th bill in Essex, the Essex Earthquake. Had a shuffle on the set. Spencer Oliver, former European super bantamweight, remains. He's still holding his own on the set. We've got Leon Senior though, light heavyweight, or will be light heavyweight when he gets down to the fighting weight with his manager, Mika Moo. Gents, welcome to the show. Leon, how are you? How are you feeling? You've come back after 4 years out of boxing, been a couple of bouts now. You feeling it again?
Yeah, I mean, this year's been a big year for me, coming back into the sport and proving to myself that I'm capable of doing things, which I've done. I've had 3 fights, 3 wins on my comeback, but more importantly, dropped the weight.
Yeah.
I've dropped it, 4 stone now, this year alone. Next year is going to be a big year for me. Obviously, I've got this fight to get through, and then a possible shot at a Southern Area title at March the 9th next year.
Well, that's there. What's the kind of scene for him when he came to you then, 16 stone plus, and said, I want to get back in?
His trainer, Archie Dublin, said he's got this fighter who used to train years ago, a very good fighter, but had been out of the scene for 4 years. I said, bring him down our gym at the Pro SW gym down in Loughton. Yeah. So we'll have a look at him and see what we think. So he came in, and he was a lot bigger than he is now. And you know, I had a chat with him first and foremost to see what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go, and he told me basically he just wanted to start boxing again.
You've gone down, have you? What was it, 13-10, 13-4, now 12-10 this fight?
Yeah, we've gone down because we want to do it gradually, because I said to him, really, you don't want to throw him in at the deep end. Being out for 4 years, so I mean, you don't really want to throw him in against ferocious fighters. It's going to take him a time to get back and settle. So
we've done it very sensibly as well, like bringing him down to like sort of like they said, like 13-10, 13-4, 13 stone 12. So
exactly.
Very
not
gradual.
quite a Ricky Hatton moment.
No,
It's a bit different to that.
There are dangers in that, and it's, with all these boxers, you know what I mean, their health and safety is paramount with us. So
well, should we look at the London calling fight as well that Leon took part in? I mean, Leon, what were your thoughts of this? I think we see the pictures now, and you can talk us through it. How was this the event at York Hall?
Yeah, just another day at the office, really. He was quite a tricky opponent. He had quite a 56 fights, I think he had.
It's Mikulauskis, is it, from Latvia?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And he's been in with a lot of top quality fighters who are at the top of their game now, and he's tested them and brought them the distance, most of them. I think he's only been stopped twice out of 56 fights, so me going the distance with him, you know, it was good experience for me, but I didn't really...
13 stone 4 was this? Is this all right? The weight you went at?
Yeah. I didn't expect to stop the guy because he was durable, but you know.
I think at that stage, of your career, or that stage of your comeback, you don't want to be stopping people anyway. It's all about getting the rounds under your belt, getting back into it. So I think that would have done you no favours really stopping him at that stage. So that was perfect.
It was important for us as his management to look for fighters that we feel are going to test him, take him the distance, get him the rounds. because obviously we know he's not fighting at the weight we want him to be fighting at. So obviously he's not going to be at the strength that we want him to be at. But also, but just take care of him and nurture him and make it. You know what I mean, not easy for him, but it's a learning curve. He's coming into the game from a long way off, so it's important for us to make sure that, like, he takes the right nutrition. We've got friends at our gym, some of his sponsors.
Lose weight but keep the energy there.
Who've made us some plans for him for his eating and stuff, so that make sure that he loses the weight gradually but keeps his strength. You know, so.
What do you want to work on then in your next fight? You've got Barchimej coming up, the Polish opponent.
Yeah, I think this opponent will probably be my best opponent to date. But I need to be tested to bring the best out of me. And this is a fight I need. If I'm going to talk about going on to fight for titles, which is going to be after this fight, Southern area, I keep saying. But
he's had 11 pro fights, won 7, lost 4. Do you been able to see too much about him? Because you had Joe Muller on, who says he hasn't seen a single thing of his Bulgarian opponent.
I mean, I've seen a bit about him. I've watched a couple of tapes on him. He seems to be like a come-forward fighter. Yeah. I think that will suit me. I think it will bring the best out of me.
How would you sell yourself stylistically then as a fighter? People out there who might be contemplating getting a ticket.
Quite a slick, stylish fighter.
Yeah. You do say yourself.
Yeah.
He's got a good movement.
I don't really get hit that much. Well, I haven't done so far.
But that gives you longevity, I suppose. That's why you make come back at your age as well. You know, you're sort of talking about certain styles have a shorter shelf life.
Yeah. But I think as I get into longer distant fights, it'll be more close contact. We won't be so far apart and won't be doing so much moving. It'll be more on your feet and hitting hard, you know.
I think this opponent for you at this stage, you know, you want a great test before you go in for your title fight. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be going in there blowing people away in a round or two. I mean, this opponent comes credible record, and he'll be looking to give you a decent test. And I think that, you know, you're going to go into a 10-rounder. All going well after this fight, and I think that for you, it's a perfect move at this stage of your career.
Well, it's Southern Area title on the bill, isn't there, for the new year against Jack Morris and Bethnal Green? But you were saying to us, it's not necessarily that's contingent on winning this fight, but it's certainly for you. You want to see Leon impress.
We want to see him impress. We want to see him improve. We want to see him get the rounds under his belt. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's important because, like I say, being out for 4 years, you know, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure everything's done meticulously well. You know what I mean? We've got to pay attention to detail, make sure that his nutrition is right, make sure that his dieting is right, make sure that his food's right, make sure that his training is spot on. Otherwise, you know, it could all end in tears in a flash, you know. So it's important for us. I mean, the Southern Area title is a great opportunity for him, a fantastic opportunity.
Well, having to Spence, you get a Southern Area title, you never know what phone call comes up to you.
Exactly. But, I mean, we're not looking past this fight, you know. It's important for him to impress. So after here, we're straight in the gym. He's doing a bit of sparring with Tony Conquest.
Well, I'll tell you what. And looking at the VT there of your last fight, London's Calling, you only look like half the man that was fighting even there. I mean, the weight must be falling off you. You must be doing really well. What's your weight at the moment?
I'm weighing about 13 stone.
Right.
Going about 12, 10, so you got a couple of pounds to shed,
yeah, so he's doing really well. He's doing really well.
As I said, it couldn't have gone better. So far, so good, you know what I mean? I've had the wins, I've lost the weight. And things are looking up.
Fingers crossed against Grafka then. Let's look at some of the other fights happening, shall we, guys? Lee Markham on the bill. Spence, we saw him from London Calling. Again, it's kind of a group of fighters we're now following as well on Sports Night. It's always nice to see their development. And he was impressive at
He was exciting, Lee Markham. He put in a good performance, you know, stopping his opponent, but showed an excellent array of shots. He was working well to the body, working well to the head, pinned his opponent in the corner, and you see him
quite a rangy, tall opponent as well.
Yeah, he was switching. What he done very well there. You saw him switching the shots upstairs and downstairs, confusing the opponent. The opponent didn't know where the shots were coming from, and you know that was a very mature performance for Markham at such an early stage of his career.
What do you expect from him against Diego Burton and this time
pretty
around?
Much the same. I expect an improvement, but he showed a lot of maturity, showed a lot of patience, showed a great repertoire of punches. So I'm expecting pretty much similar sort of stuff. You know, just taking his time, and that's the secret about these guys when they're boxing on these shows now. Yeah. You know, even for Leon and stuff, they all want to go out there. They all want to impress. They've got the TV cameras there. The secret is about patience, taking your time, looking. Not saying
have a sighter. Have a first 30 seconds, minute,
Absolutely.
or whatever it is.
You've always got to look at your opponent and, you know, don't get carried away, because it's easy to. When you've got 1,500 people there and they're all screaming for you, you want to go out there and you just want to put on a
especially
show.
after coming off for a knockout, Mick. I suppose there's a little bit of pressure when you've got a fighter that he feels a pressure to replicate that.
Exactly, but as the mental side of it, you've got to do in the gym and make sure these boys are patient, you know, patient with what's put in front of them. You're not going to go out and knock everybody out. So I mean, so you can't look for that all the time. You've got to look at your opponent, take your time. Leon does a lot of that. We work on that in obviously we have bigger fighters sparring him in the ring, so he can't go and knock him out. So he has to take his time, work his way in, feel his way in, because it's a danger. If you think you can knock everyone out,
I think the knockout's the bonus, isn't it?
It's the bonus. It's the bonus. If you're boxing well and everything's timing's right and everything, the knockout will come.
Plus, you want the experience as well, I suppose. Let's look at Dean Byrne, then, otherwise known as the Irish Lightning. We saw him at York Hall on the previous build back in the middle of September, and you were impressed by this fixture over Kevin McCauley, who you says doesn't win a lot of fights, but has had a lot of fights, a lot of know-how.
His records does him an injustice, Kevin McCauley, because he fights everybody. You look down there, all the top names he's got on his record, never gets stopped. Very durable guy, and Dean Byrne done a good job on him here. Dean Byrne he was working over in America, had a lot of fights.
Yeah.
But he'd gone off the rails a little bit, lost his last two before this contest. So this was a confidence builder. He needed this to get him back on the winning run. But he's not far away from title shots now, Dean Byrne. He's got, he's had 18 fights now. Only lost the two, as I said, before this fight.
Great support down at York Hall for this one for him as well. The Irish always come out.
You heard Mick say there, he's a likeable kid. He's a lovely guy. That always helps you when you're marketable outside the ring as well. That always helps you. And I think that, for Dean Byrne in that fight, it was all about just a confidence builder, getting back on that winning track, and I think you can expect to see him in the title, within the next 6 months, definitely.
Is that part of the package, is it, for you as a manager? You see the character, the personality? Well, because it's not a fair sport sometimes, is it?
Well, he came into the gym with a reputation. Obviously, we manage him and Archie trains him, and he came into the gym with a reputation because he come off 2 losses. Yeah. And he wanted to reinvent himself, and he's worked really, really hard at doing that. It's tough for the kid, obviously, with 2 losses, come over from America, 15-0, and then all of a sudden he was here, he was put into a couple of fights that really he wasn't ready for. Yeah. And
no fault of his own, it wasn't like
no fault of his own, but again, you can't really blame other people, you've got to be responsible for your own actions.
It shows a lot of character as well, though. You go 15 unbeaten, you've been boxing out in the States, and then all of a sudden you go and lose two fights, not even in title fights.
Is that style clash
shows a lot of character to bounce back. Shows a lot of character.
It's just timing as well, and obviously it wasn't his time, but he's been training hard, he's knuckled down, he's been training hard, and he worked really hard for that fight. And he's looking really, really good in the gym now. Really, really good.
Well, gents, you're both looking good on set, particularly you, Leon. I suppose it's more relevant for you. You fighting. We wish you. You're looking good as well. So I don't mean to. Maybe come back on the cards. Maybe come back. Well, Mick as well. Mick, Maybe come back on the cards for Spence. We never know. That's all I know. I hope not. We'll tie him down before that happens. But best of luck, Leon.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you coming down to Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck on the night as well with all the boxers you're managing. Right, coming up, we'll continue the boxing talk then on the Fight Show. Looking forward to Darren Barker against Kerry Hope, which also happens December the 8th. We're also talking Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez 4. Will we finally find out who is the better man? Let's hope so. See you in a few moments. Welcome back to the Fight Show on Sports Tonight. We've been deserted on the set. Still got Spencer Oliver here, though. We'll talk to him in a moment about Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez, Part 4. Darren Barker against Kerry Hope coming up. Hope to get both those guys on the line. But first of all, if you missed Parts 1, 2 and 3 of the Pacquiao-Marquez series, here's a little taster of what you're in for this time.
Featherweight championship on the line. Pacquiao just unloads. Marquez has been down 3 times in the first round. Marquez throwing combination.
You can make a case for either guy.
The round is a draw. They say it's unfinished business from 4 years ago. And this thing could change in a blink of an eye.
Upset's an upset tonight.
Both these fighters are ready.
Manny Pacquiao is a different fighter. What a fight we've got before us right here. This is a chess game, but with leather. This is what's great about boxing.
That certainly is what is great about boxing. The unknown quantity after 3 fights. Still not sure who the better boxer is, and this is how you order the fight. And Spence, I guess the watchword as ever is always get your planning in early and make sure you're on the website, primetimeboxing.com. boxing.co.uk to see this one, because this isn't one just for money or anything like that, or to please the crowd. This is to actually resolve some issues between these fighters that haven't been after 3 fights so far.
Listen, both of them have earned a colossal amount of money. It's not about the money at all. You've got to feel sorry for Marquez, haven't you? I mean, they drew the first fight. Marquez lost the next 2, but you could argue that Marquez won all 3 of those fights.
Particularly the last one.
Absolutely. The last one, I thought he was a clear winner, and I thought he was very unfortunate to come away with a loss there. I mean, every fighter has a bogeyman, and Pacquiao seems to be Marquez. Although he's come off with a right decision every time, there's an argument there for Marquez. So that's what makes this one so interesting, that you never quite know. I mean, if you was a betting man and Pacquiao started favourite, you'd put heavy money on Marquez to beat him. Especially after a controversial loss to Timothy Bradley on points. Maybe he's not coming in, coming in for defeat. Perhaps Pacquiao's kind of, I guess, status is a little bit less. And the judges, Freddie Roach says they're starting 3 rounds down, because the judges know that they're going to get booed, they're going to get hassled if Marquez loses on points in a tight decision again. Well, you've got to ask yourself, is Pacquiao... Yes, we thought Pacquiao won last time out against Bradley. He probably won by 6 or 7 rounds. Very unlucky he didn't get the decision, but... You've got to ask yourself, is Pacquiao slowly on the decline? We've seen it in his last few fights. He hasn't looked great at all. I thought he lost against Marquez. He didn't look great against Bradley, although we felt he won. So you're just wondering, is this slowly, every fighter reaches his day, is Pacquiao starting to do that? And if so, Marquez could be here and could take a clear points victory. Shane Moses is a very tepid fight as well. I remember seeing that one. Let's speak to a guy who knows Pacquiao well and has trained with him out in the Philippines, or at least been around the camp, Freddie Roach's workout there. It's Max Maxwell, who's of course challenged for a British title at light middleweight. Max, how are you, sir? Thank you for taking the time to join us on Skype this evening. Are you well?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great stuff. Now, what are your thoughts? Because Freddie Roach, it's interesting you're talking about this fight. He doesn't seem very keen on fighting Juan Manuel Marquez again at all. Are you surprised that Pacquiao's decided on a part 4?
I'm surprised he has, obviously, after the last showing. But, I think he just wants to set it straight, and nothing but a knockout, I think, will do for Manny Pacquiao for this fight.
Yeah, both men are saying that, aren't they?
I think, Max, I think that, this situation is, for Pacquiao, I think is a case of Pacquiao wanting to put them demons to bed, isn't it? Like Pacquiao, although he's got the right decision, a lot of people around him, and he's probably heard it himself, felt that Marquez won those fights, and he's very unfortunate to be like 2 down and 1 draw.
Exactly. So, obviously a lot of people may not want him to take the fight, but I think he wants to just set the record straight and, prove that, he's a top man. But obviously, after the last fight, which obviously I thought he won convincingly, I'm sure he's going to be in the gym and training for nothing but a knockout.
Yeah, after fights 1 and 2, he knocked, obviously, Juan Manuel Marquez down 4 times in total, but no one was near a knockout in that 3rd fight. If Pacquiao comes out looking for that, does that play into Juan Manuel Marquez's style, the counter-punching style? Is it almost something that he'd want Pacquiao to do?
Yeah, definitely, because obviously he's gonna walk onto something big, but when Manny's got a great chin anyway, so I think he's just gonna try and just break him down. I think, to be honest, I think he's just thinking, I need to set this record straight, and when I break him down,
Sorry, I was saying, but Pacquiao needs a big performance here, doesn't he? I mean, he's looked a little bit lackluster the last few times out. I mean, he really does need to put on a performance here to stop people talking about him, slowly on the decline.
Obviously, once again, and I said it about the come out and put out a performance. Obviously, it wasn't a great performance, but he still win convincingly. But obviously, he's got demons that he needs to settle with himself. So I hope he does that.
What about the train? How was he training when you were there? Because there's been question marks about that. I read this time that he was supposed to go to Los Angeles' 8-week proper camp with Freddie Roach before, but showed up 2 weeks late. From what you sense, was there any dimming of the motivation, the fire? We know about his political career in the Philippines as well. Is he still focused from your experience?
Like I said, when I was in the gym and I was training with him, he was very much focused. He was in the gym for 2 or 3 hours at a time. He loved training. So, obviously, there's probably little things behind the scene that we don't know. But in the gym, he looks focused. He loves it in the gym, and he enjoys training. So, obviously, unless there's little things behind the scene, like you said, his political career, then those are things that obviously we don't know about. But he looks good. He looks sharp when I was there, and he looks like he's still in love with the game.
Well, Max, it's time to call him, but give us a quick prediction before you go. Who wins and how?
Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Pacquiao because I'm going to stick with him because I think he's going to want this time more than ever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with him and put my neck out in line and say Pacquiao. Late stoppage or points.
Excellent stuff. Appreciate it. Cheers, Max. Catch up soon, mate. Take
All right,
care.
Take care, Max.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Take care,
bye.
mate.
Interesting that going with Pacquiao. Very hard to oppose him
Yeah.
because we were thinking about the Pacquiao from 4 or 5 years ago, the explosive pound. There's also a subplot here as well because Floyd Mayweather Jr., we know all about that kind of fight. And he got inside Pacquiao's head a little bit, questioning where the power came from, talking about Olympic drug tests and stuff like that. Whatever's happened, perhaps Pacquiao feels a certain pressure from those calls as well to prove himself.
I think that Pacquiao just feels a bit of pressure now anyway because he's not looked great in his recent performances. I mean, he's got a lot of, he's a very experienced fighter. He wouldn't let little things like that torment him and get inside his head because he's too far down the line for that. He's been the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world for a number of years now, and I think that he's just got to the stage of his career now where he needs to let everybody know that he's still right at the very top.
Yeah. What about that fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Is that on the line? I don't know how much money it will net them. I know Manny Pacquiao's rich enough to sleep in silk sheets every night and travel the world in first class or whatever he wants to do, and he's got his political career. But is that fight on the line? Is that the crowning glory that he needs to prove that he's almost worthy of that shot?
I think so. I think that's something that that he's probably still fighting for. That's the fight that he wants. That's the fight that the public want. Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. That's what everybody wants to see. But because of the last performance against Marquez, he needs to sort that out first. Otherwise, people would feel that fight was not as valuable as it was maybe 12 months ago. So I think that he needs to put this Marquez fight to bed. He needs to look good in defeating Marquez if he's got any chance of a mega fight with Manny Pacquiao. A mega fight with Floyd Mayweather at this stage of his career.
Interesting that Andre Ward's knocked Manny Pacquiao out of the top 2 of the pound-for-pound rankings for the first time in a while. He's there alongside Floyd Mayweather Jr., one of the best pound-for-pound commentators, perhaps the best one, of course, in the business, is Prime Time's Benny Ricardo, and I'm very pleased to say he joins us now to talk about the fight. Benny, what about this fight? Have you known one before? A 4th fight, we still don't know who the better boxer is. Have you seen anything like it before in your career?
Well, Jane Spencer, this is not boxing anymore. 4 fights, that's a marriage.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Benny. That's right.
A week in some marriages.
That's no longer boxing, boy. That's a marriage. I mean, you realize these guys have spent 108 minutes and 36 rounds. So they know each other about as well as could possibly, people, know each other and stuff. So it's going to be interesting. But right now, I went to Mexico City and I saw Juan Manuel Marquez, and I was amazed. You should see the physique of Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, he definitely now looks like a welterweight.
I mean, he's 39 as well, isn't he? I mean, there's question marks over Pacquiao being past it, but he's 6 years the younger man. Is Marquez just aging better, perhaps?
Well, he's got a new trainer. In fact, here's a little something to think about here now. He's got a guy who was known as Angel Memo Heredia. Yeah. And he was the one that was connected to the battle, the performance enhancement products.
Barry
and stuff.
Bonds, baseball player and everything,
Right, Victor Conte. And he's also been working with Usain Bolt. Now his name is Angel Hernandez. And he is a former national discus champion from Mexico, who's been known for these. He calls himself a nutritionist, chemist, all the above.
Sure.
He's had great success using growth hormones and blood boosters, and he also uses testosterone with a fast-acting cream, which is literally undetectable. Wow. So that's one of the concerns that has come out of the Pacquiao camp is, that physique, because when Marquez fought Mayweather, I mean, he looked bloated, and that was the rumors had come out that at that time he was drinking his urine. That was
well, I think we actually saw a bit of that footage on Sky TV actually, where we actually saw him drinking his own urine, and when he boxed Mayweather in that, you're right, he did look lackluster, and we thought, I think he was 37 years of age then, we felt that he was probably past his best then, and now he seems to have come into his own again and seems to be probably having the best time of his career at the moment.
Exactly. And and the thing is, he drank his own urine against Mayweather, but literally Mayweather knocked the piss out of him directly.
Benny, do we get any resolution in this fight between Pacquiao and Marquez? Do we learn anything more? Do we get a conclusive proof who is the better fighter? Do you feel?
Well, I feel this. I think that, you know, styles make fights. And I think Juan Manuel Marquez, and I've spent a lot of times with Nigel Berenstein on this, as he said to me, he says, you know, actually, Pacquiao now is easier for us to fight than he was in the very first fight.
Yeah.
And if you remember that very first fight, you know, guys can train all they want and they can spar all they want, but there's nothing like fight times speed.
Sure.
And, you know, if you remember that in that fight, Pacquiao knocked him down 3 times.
He done well to get through the first round in that fight, if I remember rightly. He was in real trouble, wasn't he?
And he's talking about...
and that was the shocker, was the speed. Juan Manuel Marquez had never ever encountered anybody with that kind of speed. And so, you know, it shocked him. And boom, boom, 3 knockdowns right there. And then after that, he learned to fight him. And like Nigel Berenstein said, that what made Pacquiao so hard to fight at the beginning was that unorthodox style. It's kind of like Naseem Hamed. The thing that was made it to fight Naseem Hamed was, you know, the angles of the punches are so rare that you're not used to seeing those things. You're not used to defending. You're not used to
Benny, apologies. So, time is pressing this then. We have to go to a commercial break. Give me a prediction quickly before you go. In a word, who wins?
I think Manny Pacquiao comes out and finally gets the knockdown he's been looking for.
Interesting stuff. Well, Benny Ricardo, pleasure to speak to you. Look forward to hearing you on the fight as well, sir. Take care. Cheers, Benny.
You got it. Cheers, bud.
Excellent stuff. Well, what a night it is. December the 8th, Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez, part 4. That's just part of a wonderful night of boxing. Coming up, we talk about Darren Barker's return to the ring. He's got a big night on his hands as well against Kerry Hope. More coming up on The Fight Show with myself and Spence Oliver. See you in a few moments' time. Welcome back to The Fight Show on Sports Tonight. A bumper night of boxing, December the 8th coming up. We've already touched on the action in Essex, the Essex earthquake. We've looked at that massive fight in Las Vegas. I'll tell you what, Spencer, now it's probably time to switch our attention to West London. The small matter of Darren Barker's comeback to the ring, which we're all just happy to see him back in a boxing ring after over a year out through injury.
Yeah, he's been very unfortunate, Darren. You know, he's had a lot of hip problems. Last time out, he damaged his elbow and his shoulder. So it's been a frustrating time for him, you know, and I know that he's itching to get back in there. It's
not coming in easy, though, is he? Against,
no, I think
Kerry
at this
Hope.
stage of his career, you know, he's 30 years of age, and at this stage of the career, he only wants the big fights. You know, Kerry Hope is just trying to get himself back into the title shot, coming off his European title loss as well. So this is a big crossroads fight for both guys. You know, the winner can go on and fight for a world title, and the loser really has got to go back to the drawing board and pick the pieces up. So it's a big fight for both guys. But I know Barker at this stage of his career only wants those big fights. He wants those world title shots. So, you know, this is this to him. You know, he sees it as a world title fight.
Yeah, both have had title opportunities in the past, looking to get some redemption, get back in the ring, get back on that path towards glory. Let's bring in the fighters, I guess, because it's in London. Darren Barker's in Barnet, probably the home fight. We'll talk to Darren first. Should we just bring him in? And Darren, first of all, great to see you getting back towards the ring. How are you? You fit? Is everything feeling good ahead of the fight?
Yeah, really good. Really gone well. I know it's a cliche and you hear it all the time, but I think it's one of the best camps I've had. I mean, after the disappointment of having to pull out of the last fight, where things have gone really well, I mean, this is better. That one, I mean, the injuries are fine, the hips absolutely fine, the arm that I injured fine, and you know, I'm feeling like a young 21-year-old again, not just physically, but mentally as well, because I think mentally I suffered worse with the injury, but putting them behind me now, I feel a fresher fight physically and mentally, and I'm just ready to really push on now.
It must be really nice for you, Darren, as well, going injury-free for a whole training camp, because I know the frustrations you were suffering last time out, that really was a big knockback for you, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, I'd had reoccurring problems with my hips, which are sorted now. You know, I've had the operations and they're absolutely fine. I've been training, and it's as if I've got, you know, as if there was never ever a problem with my hip. You know, they're fantastic now. It was just unfortunate last time I hurt my arm right so close to the fight. It was a freak injury. It could have happened to anyone, but it was unlucky it happened to me. But, you know, that's all behind me now. Like I say, mentally I suffered, but now I'm buzzing and I'm in fight mode. I had a fantastic camp and just really, really looking forward to getting in the ring, doing what I do best.
over a year out, Darren, I suppose you haven't come back in easy against Kerry Hope, because he's a fighter who's a bit dangerous, because he's in a similar boat to you. He wants one last shot at the glory, doesn't he? He's going to leave nothing in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we sat down and it's the fight. I sat down and I asked for the fight. You know, I've never been naive enough to look past Kerry Hope. He's a dangerous fighter in his own right, former European champion. And yeah, I mean, it's got that British domestic sort of rivalry, and it's a big fight and it captures the imagination of not the boxing public, the general public, you know, sort of taking note and interested in the fight. And yeah, I mean, I just can't wait to get in there. Like I say, the camp's gone fantastic. I believe I'm the better fighter, and I look forward to proving it. You know, I may have been out 14 months, but like I say, I feel so fresh physically and mentally after getting over them injuries that I'm ready to push on now. I mean, if you was to watch me in the gym now, watching me spar, you'd think I've rolled back. You just, you know, I really do feel, you know, I know everyone said it, and I'm touching on this cliche again, but everyone said, you know, I think the best they've felt. I truly believe it's the best they've felt. I'm, you know, an experienced fighter. You know, I've boxed over here. I mean, Kerry, he said a couple of times that he thinks I've been wrapped in cotton wool. You know, I fought the best in the world in Atlantic City. I mean, if that's what wraps in cotton wool, I don't know. It must be wirewool then. Because, you know, it don't get much harder than that. And not only that, I fought in Canada and whatnot, fighting a local chap there in Larry Sharp that was going in his backyard. And, you know, I haven't had it easy. I thought everyone who's been put in front of me, Kerry Hope, is the next name that's going to be on my record.
Well, Darren, great to speak to you. Just hold on a second. We'll bring in Kerry Hope. Now we can discuss it with him as well. The man from Merthyr Tydfil. Kerry, good evening to you. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us during your camp. Darren Barker says he's fit, ready to go. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all ready. We've had a good camp. The training's gone well. My new trainer guy, Lockett. I'm looking forward to the fight.
Yeah, and how do you assess it in terms of what's on the line for you personally? Is it kind of the last big shot before perhaps one last shot at title glory?
Well, you know, coming off a loss to Proxer, I really, you know, I had a good camp there. I think I overdone it a bit, and you know, I paid the price. But this is a chance for me to get back in title contention. And like Dan has touched on, there's a pot of gold at the end of it, which we both want. I know, you know, Dan's down to world levels, and I hope to do that. And to do that, I got to beat Dan Barker. So I'm really looking forward to the fight, and you know, I'm motivated more than ever than fighting, you know, basically one of the top fighters in the country, if not the world. So yeah, my game can rise for this.
Yeah, I mean, Kerry, I mean, you touched on it there. You both see it as it's a real crossroads fight, isn't it, for both of you at this stage of your careers? You know, to get that final shot at the title, if you like, or at a world title. You both need to win here, so that's what makes this fight so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, we're both chasing the same dream. Realistically, you know, all those years ago when you started out boxing, you always dream of fighting for a world title or you know, being a world champion. So this for both of us is a massive fight. We both want it so bad, and you know, the best man will win on the night.
Kerry, give us a prediction before you go.
Obviously, a win.
A win? Simple W on the round. And Darren, are you still on the line? Can you give us a prediction before you go, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here. And I predict a dazzling display and definitely a Barker win.
Dazzling, Darren. Well, appreciate it, gents. Best of luck to both of you, and what a big night of boxing, December the 8th. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Both men great talkers, both great stalwarts of boxing. It'll be a fantastic fight. It looked set that way because Kerry Hope doesn't tend to finish people, so what a night of boxing.
Yeah, it's really looking forward to it. And you know what? It's nice to hear, you know, respect from both guys. They've both got respect for each other. They both realise how much it means, this fight, to both of them. So you can expect an excellent fight there.
Spence, sorry to cut you short there. Time is pressing. What a night of boxing coming up December the 8th. So much to talk about. Remember to order that Pacquiao Marquez fight, and of course the Earthquake Essex events live on Sports tonight. We'll see you again soon on The Fight Show. Bye for now.